Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. So I was watching a TED Talk. You guys ever watch TED Talks? Great. This is going to be great. Seriously, none of you ever watched TED Talk? Okay, cool. 2 people. That's great. So we'll go for you. And as part of the talk, she did a little quiz. Kind of a quiz. Not really a quiz, but kind of a quiz. So you guys up for a little quiz? Okay. We'll do it. Even if you weren't, we were going to do it. So here it is. If in rush hour traffic, you always remain calm. If you see posts on Facebook about your neighbor's exotic vacations and you don't even have a little bit of jealousy. If you love everyone around you unconditionally. Great quiz, right? And if you always find contentment right where you are, okay, then you're probably a dog. Man, 8 o'clock, this bombed. So this is great. This is great. This is great. Thanks for playing along. Yeah, all right. So by show of hands, who wants to be a dog? All right, or who wants the people who they live with be a dog? Yeah, that's probably more like it, right? I know I do. I certainly do. But the truth is, I'm a human, and so are you. We're human beings. And the thing is, that's what Paul's writing about today in Romans. The beautiful mystery that we are as human beings. The beautiful mystery that we are as human beings. I mean, listen to this. And this is good news. Before I'm going to read it, and then this is good news. Keep this in mind. He says this, I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. I know that I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. I know that I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. And this is good news. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why this is good news. Okay? It's good news because of who this guy Paul is who wrote this. Do you know Paul? I mean, like on a first name basis and all that? You know, Paul was a Pharisee. So he was an uber religious dude. Uber religious. All right? He followed the law of his religion to a T. Okay? He was an obedient, strict follower of his religious law, and he did it well. And he writes about it in other letters in the New Testament. Okay? What he discovered, how does a guy who lives like that, lives by the law, lives exactly by the law, lives perfectly, you're right with me, man, all right. So lives perfectly like that, get to a place where he can write this. For I do not do what is right. I can will it, but I can't do it, for I do not understand my own actions. And this is how. Okay? What he's saying in his own life is the law could only get him up to a certain point. And then at that point, his humanity kicked in and he recognized his own frailty and his own limitations and his own need for grace. That's why this is good news. Because if I follow the law perfectly, always, and I think that's all that there is, why do I need grace? Why do I need God's love? He recognizes this in himself. And this is brutal honesty right here. And he recognizes in himself that he will never be perfect. It's not part of the human deal. But what he recognizes through his honesty is that he can grow. And he can be open to the love and the grace that God, I think, is constantly pouring out in life. But it starts with this. It starts with this honesty. Can you relate to it at all? Can you relate to any of this letter right here? Can you relate to the, I can will what is right, but I cannot do it? Have you ever been there? If you have never been there, just leave. Because you don't need this. You don't need it. You got it, right? So, not really, don't leave. So I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. Okay, so I relate to this so much. Too much. I could sit in here and talk to you forever about this. Okay, and I'll show you one way. I've talked to you guys, some of you before, about my referee stuff. You know, like going to basketball games and freaking out on the referees. That's this. Okay, but here's another confession. Other than referees, one of the other things I hate are tailgating. Do you guys tailgate? Don't do it to me, please. Don't do it to me. It had been a really tough week, really, really rough time. I was tired. I was getting ready to go home, and there was a lot of traffic. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? And this is what I usually do when I'm in this place, because I don't want to go home stressed. I don't want to take that home. I should have walked the labyrinth, but I didn't do it. So I got in the car, and there's all this traffic and all this stuff going on, and I thought, you know, I'm going to drive down, I'm going to cut through and go Cherokee Boulevard. Do you guys ever do that? Highly recommend. Well, don't do it, because then there would be too much traffic. But it's great because for me anyway, it's a beautiful drive. You get to see the river, and the trees are pretty. And I drive down there not to cut through and get a shortcut. I drive down there to go slow, because I want to slow down. That's what helps me not carry the stress home. So I'm doing it. I'm getting ready to, right at Cherokee Boulevard, getting ready to turn in this big SUV. Pretty sure it was John. No. Not really. It was somebody else. So she comes I just wanted to make sure you were listening to me. So she comes driving up and just comes right, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Man. So I'm driving down Cherokee Boulevard, and sure enough, she's just tailgating me. And I'm going slow, because I want to go slow. And I've got on spa radio. You ever listen to spa radio? And it's like, chill, it's so great. Except for this person behind me. And she's just tailgating. And so I'm trying all my tricks. Well, maybe she's in a rush. Well, maybe she's late. Well, maybe, and it wasn't working. I was just getting more tense and more frustrated. Spa radio wasn't working. And so I pulled over in one of those turns, those turnarounds there at Cherokee. I pulled over to let her go by. And she goes flying by, and on the back of her bumper sticker it says, "Kindness matters." And I'm like, really? Really? I was like wanting to chase her down with my own bumper sticker. Tailgating's not kind. See, but the truth is what I should do is I should have thanked her. Because the reason I got so mad wasn't because of the tailgating. It was because she pointed out to me my own inconsistencies. Because I'm not always kind. And I want to be. You see, and what Paul's letter said is when I can own that, when I can own my own stuff, then I'm open to grace. Then I'm open to growth. Then I can appreciate instead of denigrate being a human. Myself and everybody else. Because being human really is this beautiful, beautiful mystery. And in the end, aren't we all really just doing about as best as we can? And I think, in the end, that's what we're trying to give to Wyatt here. We're trying to say to him, we don't expect you to be perfect, flawless. He said amen. That's an amen. We don't expect that. We expect you to come and be human with us and grow in the love of God. Amen.